I'm Eudes. I'm a French student studying for 1 year and a half in China. I've been there since September, and I'm going to stay at least 1 year after now. And I come from Paris, in France, and I'm an engineering student in mechanical engineering. 10 years ago, I was in middle school. I did all my middle school on the high school in Paris. I passed my end of high school exam. I did pretty good. So I went to a special class that only exists in France. It's like 2 years where you study really, really hard. And you study a lot of mathematics, physics, a little bit of philosophy, and that's pretty much it, and a little bit of engineering. So I did that in the suburbs of Paris. At the end, we have a big exam which allows us to choose a school. I chose a school with a lot of my friends, so I went to the east of France to a city I've never been before. It was really nice. When I started to go to engineering school, there were a lot of parties, and it was really nice to discover a lot of new people. It was a really strong experience for me to know a lot of people coming from different parts of France, and it was really a good experience. During this year, I chose to go to China to finish my studies. So after 1 year in the east, I had to go to the west. There is only one campus that can send you to China. So I had to go there and meet new people. It was pretty hard at the start, but I made a lot of cool friends there too. That a lot of them are in China now, but not in Nanjing, in other cities. And then it was the start of this year. In September, I went to Nanjing, and it was the first time I left Europe. So it was really weird for me to discover like a new country, an entirely new culture.
My name is Victor. So I'm from Paris as well, so I'm French. I'm 22 years old, and basically my parents are Chinese and Laotian, from the Laos. So my mother's side is from Guangzhou. I can't speak Mandarin, but I can speak a dialect from Guangzhou, which is called Hakka. I'm also doing some industrial engineering in Paris. 10 years ago I was 12 years old. So after middle school and high school, let me say I was not a good student, so I was very lazy, and I'm still very lazy. So after high school, I decided to work. So I work at the same time as study. So I work and study for 2 years for an aircraft company, and now I'm doing the same thing, but with an engineering school. Pretty the same. I'm still working for a defense company in France. And basically, we had an international semester to do. And before to come in China, I asked my company to come to work 3 months in Singapore. And then I moved to China for 6 months of exchange semester.
Hello, my name is Bunyat, and I came from Uzbekistan. It's my second month here in China, and I'm enjoying time here. I was born in 2001, so I'm 18 now. 10 years ago, I was about 8 years old. I was second grade in my school. My studies were perfect, and I looked really differently. And I was a fat boy, and I was cute, not like now. And 10 years ago, I was back in Uzbekistan, in Tashkent. And at 8 years old, I visited my first country. It was Italy. It was a trip from our school. We went there to participate in one competition, in which we had to dance, and we won the main prize.
My name is Nathan. I am 22 years old. I was born in 1997. I am originally from Ethiopia. I did my bachelor's at NUAA. I studied aerospace engineering. I wanted to study like aeronautics, a friend of mine, a 2-year senior of mine, he was already studying it here in China. We used to be in the same high school, and he recommended that I come here. Besides just aging, I mean, I gained a lot of weight. Since I turned 20, which was 2 years ago, I gained about like almost 15 to 18 kilograms. That's a lot. From a teenager to a young adult. So that's another transition. Your outlook changes because now I'm living abroad for quite some time, so I'm exposed to different cultures, different people, so I have like a lot of new friends from different countries all over the world. So basically it was just a learning 10 years for me.
One of my personal heroes is like a French president from the Second World War. It's General de Gaulle, like the one who kind of saved France. It was actually the first one in Europe to say that China was a real country, so he's kind of linked to China. He was like really down to earth. He's not like other politicians that are really trying to screw you, but he was really like normal. And in my personal life, I would say like it will be my grandfather that was really a strong figure for me, because he lived his life in the right way. I would like, from my point of view. He's dead now, but I'm trying to live my life as he would like me to do.
Especially, I have one sister, one older sister, and two older brothers. We have 10 years of difference. When I was young, they were already old. We don't have the same conversation. I was pretty young, and they were very stick together, the three of them. I really wanted to be with them, so that's why I decided to make this decision to work as them. And finally, here I am, and now we can have some great conversation together. And yeah, I think all my decision during the past years, at least the 5 past years, was made because I could see my sister and my brothers be adults.
Yeah, there are a couple of influencers in my life. Unlike many others, it's not my parents, but it's my friend. I would say, yeah, it's my friend. Back then we were studying in different classes, but because of him I moved to his class. When I met him, I was like 15 years old. When I looked at him, when I looked at his achievements, his character, it really inspired me, and I started talking with him. We became great friends, and then we started doing things together, partying together, and then business together, earning money.
I mean, I do aeronautics, so obviously people in this major are the ones who inspire me. Have you ever heard of the company SpaceX before? And the founder, Elon Musk. In this decade, I think he did the most out of anybody. What he did with the aerospace industry was revolutionary. So seeing what he's done, to see it live when it happens, that was very inspirational. He's not limited to just aerospace. He does a lot of other things, which is interesting because although I do major in one subject, I am interested in a lot of other things as well. So that kind of shows like it's good to have somebody who already has done it to see as an example and just try and follow the footsteps.
Actually, my hardest decision was to go to China, but it wasn't because I had to go to China, it was because I had to change cities and leave my friends there, and it was really a difficult decision because it was like I had to choose between my studies and my friends. No, I don't really regret it because I live a good life in China. It's really nice to discover new things, and even in the city where I had to go, it was pretty nice. So I don't regret it, but I think I would still have loved to stay more with my friend in the city I was before.
So I decided to work, and I think this was the most difficult decision for me and for my parents. They did not expect that I was going to work at 18 years old. At the beginning, you're telling yourself that at 18 years old you are starting to work, and all your friends are still in school, university. So you're like you don't know what you are doing in your life. But afterward, you're just telling yourself that you are learning a lot. You're becoming mature quicker than the others. And finally, I don't regret anything of my decision. So now I'm very proud of my choice.
There's one huge, terrible mistake that I've made within the last decade, and it's about religion and family. As for me, I don't have any religion, unlike my family. Well, our family is Islam family, and once I wanted to share my opinions about God, about religion with my mom, which was a terrible idea, and I really regret that I made it. I hope that my family would understand me, but they didn't understand me. They just thought that I live in their family and I don't have a choice. I have to choose what they think what is right, and I had a lot of difficulties after this conversation. It was very tough. I will never go back to this conversation again.
First I have to finish my studies, and then I want to try to find a job that will be interesting and still well paid because money is still important in life, and I would like to find something that allows me to travel a little bit, maybe 9 months in France and 3 months elsewhere, maybe in China. I want to travel a lot. I want to find a meaningful job. I don't want to just work for money and let it just be. I want to feel really useful to my country, to the world.
Now I have 6 months to work in Paris, and then I will be graduate. So then I will try to move on for Singapore for 2 years, and then we will see what's happening there. For the moment, I would like to stay in Asia. What I made the decision to come in China is I was born and raised in France, and I have the French culture, but I also have the Chinese culture because my parents are Chinese, and I really wanted to see what is the Chinese culture as my parents live in China. So I want to find myself what my parents. Maybe for the next 10 years, I would like to stay in Asia.
I think upcoming 10 years are the most important years for me, for my life, and for my children. Within next 10 years, the most 3 points that I will work on is my financial situation, in which I'm planning to become an entrepreneur. Next is the self-development as a human being, charity, making friends, hanging out with friends, keep relations, be grateful for everything that happens in my life, and accomplishing my goals.
I should find an actual career, because I'm still gonna do masters and maybe possibly PhD now, but I should pretty much sort out my life after this. It's been fun so far, but I think it's time to grow up now. And so the next 10 years I expect to change my just dreams and passions and all that stuff into actual goals and start making things happen.
Please, darling, oh don't you cry. Let's just kiss and say goodbye.
Hi, it's Carrie here. This is my first VOX POP video and I hope you enjoy it. If you have any advice, please leave a comment down below. I really appreciate different opinions. The reason why I chose this topic is that the last decade is so important to me. It covers 3 years of high school, 4 years of university, and 3 more years of master. I hoped that I could interview someone of other generations. However, these 4 lovely interviewees are all younger than me. So personally, my values of life have changed a lot. I still remember my first trip to Shanghai. This city left few positive impressions on me. Surrounded by endless noise, crowded streets, and packed small windows outside skyscrapers, I felt so anxious and unsettled. All I wanted was to go back home and hide myself in nature. After 7 years of study, now I see big cities differently as a place full of opportunities, of convenient access to music, art, and movie, and where I can find friends who share the same interest. I got to know Lionel Messi on the World Cup in 2010. I'm touched by his talent, passion, modesty, and love for his family and friends. I've made up my mind to try my best to be a person like him. I learn Spanish, and therefore I meet other people from Spain and Latin America. I believe he will always be the one who guides me through difficult situations and encourages me to explore and chase my dreams. Next year I will start to work, and I'm sure my life will be completely different. Although I've decided to work in my hometown, I wish I could still develop my interests, keep connected to the world in my spare time, and never stop exploring myself. Thanks for everyone who have helped me so far. See you next time.